Good morning. Welcome back to lecture on project management. We are dealing with a sub-module in module number 5, that is project contracting. We will be studying about what is a contract, why a contract is required, what are the main types of contracts, what do you understand by valid, that is what we are always interested, and what is the process involved in contracting. So this is what today we are discussing about. What is a project contract? Why it is required? A contract is a agreement between two parties to accomplish a certain goal in a certain way. So always the contract is an agreement between two or more parties. That means one party, he will be putting some condition and other party is agreeing on it, and there is a mutual agreement between these two, and how it is to be done and what sort of goal we have to achieve, everything together we call it as a project contract. An agreement between two or more parties. A party who is giving the offer and the other party is accepting the offer. So two parties are required for making a contract. Why a contract is required? So the answer to why a contract is, when you execute any work on a contractual basis, there is a possibility that there can be misunderstanding and there can be dispute in the later stage. So in order to avoid any kind of misunderstanding and also to avoid all kinds of dispute, a project contract is a must. So this is the answer for what is a contract and why is a contract is required. So we know what is a contract. It is an agreement between the two parties. One party agrees to do some work and the other party is ready to pay for whatever work he has done, in a way that the goal of the project is achieved. Why? Because difference of opinion is naturally going to be there when two parties are involved. In order to avoid any kind of difference of opinion, we should have a contract. That is what we call it as a project contract. We can see that this project contract is based upon Indian Contract Act. Indian Contract Act is enabled in our country by the Britishers in the year 1840. So this project contracts based upon Indian contract. Coming to what are going to be the types of contracts usually existing. There are n number variants are going to be there for each and everything. There are a lot of variants are going to be there. But what we can see generally, three major types of contracts are going to be there. We call it as fixed price. Fixed, the meaning is lump sum. So the work will be awarded to a contractor for a lump sum amount of work, amount of money, and when he completes the work, owner will be handing over the money to the contractor. The seller and the buyer, the owner and the contractor agree upon a certain amount of money and they have to execute it. It's compulsory on both the parts. While you complete the work, this much money will be given to you. This is what we call it as a fixed price or lump sum contracts. Second one, we say cost reimbursable contracts. There are a lot of variants are going to be there because we call it as cost plus percentage, cost plus percentage profit, cost fluctuation. So many different variants are going to be there. But these all variants are having a basic fact. There is a cost involved plus some amount will be given by the owner to the contractor. Cost reimbursable. Whatever is going to be the cost, it will be reimbursed. What will you do if the scope of the work is not clear or fully identified? The third one we call it as the unit price contract. It sometimes is also known as a time and material contract. It is purely based upon per unit of material or per unit of work it is being carried out, the money will be paid by the owner to the contractor. So these are the three different types of contracts as on today it is existing. So many variants are going to be there now. Privatized contracts have come. We call it as BOT, BOLT, BOOT. But traditionally, conventionally, these are the three different kinds of contracts. Number one, it is about the fixed lump sum contract, cost plus whatever is the expense coming, profit or fluctuation or lump sum, whatever may be. And third one, based upon the material and the type of work that we are doing. It is item rate contract, unit price contract. Now we'll see what are going to be the types of contracts. We will not be going in detail about all the different types. Here we will be types of contract based upon the validity. It is going to be number one, valid contracts, void contracts, voidable contracts, legal contracts, and unenforceable contracts. So we will see what is valid contract and what is void contract. That is what usually we come across. Voidable, it's not existing. Illegal, we are not supposed to do. And unenforceable, yes, it is. There is no question of executing such contracts. So we are interested in these two, valid contracts and void contracts. So what is going to be valid and void contract? What is a valid contract? What is a void contract? When you say a contract is valid, the simple meaning is that the terms and conditions on the contract is legally enforceable. If you go to the law of court, definitely we will be able to stand on the court. Then only the validity is going to be there. There are some conditions are there, definitely. But when we talk about valid contract, it is about the legality, whether it is enforceable legally at the court. And the second one, there are going to be void contracts. There are going to be voids in the contract. When there are going to be voids in the contract, we can say it is unenforceable. Nobody can strictly say you have to, because it is voidable. There are possibility that the risk can be void. So that is what we call it as void contract. So basically contracts, what we do execute is going to be valid contract and void contracts. The third one, it is about the voidable, because the existence is very difficult, so we never bother about it. And illegal contracts, actually there are no, if it cannot, if it is something is illegal if you are doing, and if you say there is a contract, no, then there is no validity. The court will immediately say, no, it is illegal, so you cannot stand in the court, and unenforceable. No. Now coming to the contracting process, that means a contract is signed between the buyer and the seller, a owner and the contractor. What is going to be the process that is going to be there, which we call it as a contracting process? It is a series of tasks and activities defined differently by each individual organization. A contracting approach is determined based on the situation and contract documents. So, based upon the contract documents prepared, the contracting process will be carried out. In order to make this contract, yes, we require specification, terms, conditions, requirement, all these are required. Based upon that, we prepare the contract. So this is about the contracting process. So this is a lecture on project contracting, which is going to be a sub-module on project module number 5, that is project contracting. Thank you.